Let me keep it real with you, cause I get lonely. Cause I can be with just anybody, but I get lonely, lonely again. What up? What up? It feels so good to be back. It feels so good to be back. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. I feel good. Da 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 da. I knew that I would. Da 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 da. So nice. Dun, dun. Hey, look here, y'all. We got a problem going on. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't even gonna hold you. We got a black versus black Democrat fight. They like, oh, fight. We got a black Democrat versus black fight. I'm talking about, man. It's a black Democrat. He said, we miss you, bro. I miss y'all too, man. I'm ready to talk my stuff. I'm ready to do my dance and my two-step. Hold on. Good morning. Salute, 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 salute. But check this out, man. There's a war going on outside no one is safe from. It's the blacks against the black Democrat. I ain't know this, y'all. I ain't know this. I didn't know. I ain't know it, as my homeboy would say. Dog, I ain't know it. We all supposed to be Democrats. And that's how we black. Like, it's black people mad at us or mad at me, right? Because I don't like the white man they like. That shit crazy. We still fighting over the white man. Hey, look here. Is brothers mad at brothers because they like a different white man than you? Ain't this a bitch? And they say black power. I don't understand this. We got black folks in the Divine Nine, all these different organizations and groups. They mad at other black folks because they don't like the white folk that they like. Can y'all understand? We in America just fighting over the white man. How the hell is we free and we fighting over which white man we like? I'm not fighting you over which white man you like. If you like that white man over there, that's cool. Y'all saying you're free, but you want to beat the hell out of each other over the white man you like. You ain't black if you vote for Joe, if you don't vote for Joe. So they fight for that white man. I didn't know my blackness came with being a Democrat. And all of y'all blackness can't come with being a Democrat. I heard Raphael Warnock. He's like a pastor and he's a congressman or a governor or some shit, right? He said that basically black men had to been brainwashed or coerced or allowed by the white man to even vote for Trump. I'm like, damn, that nigga talk so disrespectful. Damn, them niggas. We can't make our own decision. There's a lot of people in this world think black men can't think for themselves. We always got to be tricked or brainwashed or something into making a decision that's different. They just insult you. Don't even take the time to talk to you. It go from my brother, my brother. It go from my brother, I love you, to as soon as you have a difference of an opinion, man, fuck that coon Negro. I'm like, damn, this is how we all come together. This is how we're not a monolith. Come on, man. This is a shame, man. I'm a part of the Divine Nine. What are we fighting over again? We fighting over what white man we like. Everybody is fighting. If you didn't vote for Joe Biden, you like the wrong white man. It ain't nothing but two white men that everybody keep fighting over that mighty white man. Niggas don't even know how to have a conversation. If one tell you they vote for Trump, automatically you're coon, lame, against the black community. Wait a minute. So the Democrats is with the black community, but for 50-something years, you've been complaining about rights. You've been complaining about a goddamn crime bill. Show me the black area where it's thriving and it's goddamn just kicking ass, please. Where is it? Show me the black area, the black places that's ran by all black. Because we got some names. We got Memphis. It's black. Fucked up. Sorry, Memphis. Y'all hunt a nigga down quick. But y'all won't fuck with no white boy. And we got Baltimore. Let's just name the places. They act as if we just get more black seats instead of just more people that are going to do right by America. They think that if it's just your color, that they can't have a white mind or they can't have the wrong mindset. Like, this is weird. This is weird. We can look at this shit, what's going on in these neighborhoods, and see. I ain't aligning myself with no motherfucker Stephen A. Smith talking point. You must not been over here. I've been gone for a while, so they had me gone for about 6 weeks. So Stephen A. just got to YouTube. He aligned himself with me. I don't believe I can see. I align myself with what I can see. And I can see fucked up neighborhoods everywhere you see a D. Powers. Show me otherwise. I'll drop the link and you can show me otherwise. All they got is race baiting and empowering the group with the most monies. Yes, race baiting and empowering the groups with the most money. That's it. Show me a policy. They on CNN acting like we lost the right to vote. Because they redistrict some places, it might be uncomfortable. It might be wrong, whatever you want to say about it. Because they redistrict in some places where white folks had lost their power. So it just flipped this time. So, okay, I see it. That's why I be saying you can't be wishing something for somebody else that can always flip back on you. But yet still, we liked it when it was based on that, when it benefited us. And in South Carolina, a lot of these places is black strongholds. But if you look at the results, people are poor. People are fucked up. The educational system is bad. So what is it? Is it just that we need the token Negro to feel good or feel like we done made it in America? Let's not fix the problem. Let's just put some black people in there and make it look like we done made progress. I'm just trying to figure it out. Your president sent blacks back over 60 years. You'll have to come up and explain that to me. I don't understand what you mean by that. Yeah, I appreciate the comment, but I don't really understand what you mean by that. You are making stuff up? Oh, he's not talking to me. You're right. Like, I just don't understand, man. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I'm not fighting over the white man. I like all I do know is bullshit when I hear it. Black voter suppression. Hey, this is black voter suppression right here. They say we done lost the right to vote. Man, we can still vote. It just ain't gonna be just for the black districts. You can win a fair election. Republican blacks have been winning. Liberal talking point. I want y'all to listen to this, man. They act like we done lost our right to vote. This shit is hilarious. I'm like, damn. So you mean to tell me I can't go down to the ballot box and go down there and vote? Have you telling me they're not going to count my vote now? Is that what you're saying? And then when you peel back the potato, that ain't what they saying. What they saying is it ain't just going to be no damn all black districts where just Democrats can talk all this wokety woke shit and just get a vote based on that. That's not helping people. So listen to this young lady.
Less power.
It's in the Constitution. Get over it.
T. Ferguson of 1896.
Bring it.
Because you're being utterly disrespectful.
Not at all.
Every voter in America, white, black, or otherwise, can go cast a ballot right now.
A battle over redistricting that is playing out at the Supreme Court as Republicans and Democrats try to gain an edge in November's midterm elections. Today, the court's conservative majority cleared the way for Alabama to use a new congressional map that would eliminate a district currently held by a black Democrat. The Supreme Court offered no explanation in its order, which tosses out a lower court decision that blocked the use of that 2023 map. There's already voting underway in that state. They are planning to toss out that map, go with a new map that favors Republicans, eliminates a district. And then you have the President Trump, sending a message to South Carolina, your home state, Bakari, saying the South Carolina State Senate has a big vote tomorrow on redistricting. He says, Republicans, be bold and courageous, just like the Republicans of the great state of Tennessee were last week. Move the U.S. House primaries to August. Leave the rest on the same schedule. Everything will be fine. Get it done. So
I want to take a step back and look at this from a 50,000-foot view, to be completely honest. I think Ashley and I have to wrestle with the fact that we are going to be the first generation to actually leave this country worse than the one that we inherited. There is a casual laughter from people we believe to be our friends on the right who are showing us true colors today, because the most sacred, or one of the most sacred acts you have in the United States of America, is the ability to cast a ballot and elect someone and send them to Congress, the state house, or a mayoral seat that represents your interest. And now black folks throughout the South are being silenced. And I don't find that to be a laughing matter.
I heard you say that people are losing representation. People are losing their voice. No voter has lost their voice at all. No one's been disenfranchised. Every voter in America before these court rulings could go cast a ballot this November, and every voter in America, white, black, or otherwise, can go cast a ballot right now. The lines may be changing, but every voter still has the same amount of voting power, one vote, that they had. It's just that this Supreme Court said your race doesn't necessarily have to dictate your political identity. The fact that you're an American citizen and your franchise gives you one vote, that is your political identity. And it is incumbent upon both parties, Republicans and Democrats, to run people who speak not to just one constituency.
Exactly. What the hell are you talking about, dude? We can go down there and vote right now. He took the words right out of my mouth. I didn't want to stop it too early. He took the words right out of my mouth. It's like, what? Why can't our neighborhoods are diverse? Don't nobody live in not many, not all people live in an all black neighborhood. But even if you do live in an all black neighborhood, your district is not all black. You got Mexicans in that motherfucker at least. You got Mexicans, you got Asians, you got somebody selling you that chicken. Like, this is crazy. What's wrong with them redistricting? Why are they saying that they can't get a fair election with the Democrats? The Democrats got white folks in there that love black people. That's all they've been talking about for 1,000 years. It's Democrat white people that love black folks. So surely they'll get a vote. Yeah, come on now. I just don't understand this. Didn't Martin Luther King say we got to be judged by the context of our character and not the color of our skin? The content of our character and not the color of our skin. So this is what Martin Luther King would have wanted. Martin Luther King would have wanted us to just go out there, put ourselves out there, and let people judge us based on what we bring. Now they saying to hell with what Martin Luther King said. I'm black out this bitch. We going back to segregation. We got to be going back to segregation. In the colleges, they want their own black space. We want blackity black everything. We got to go back to segregation. That's what it seemed like going to happen. That's what it seemed like it's going to happen. Because white folks getting tired of hearing this shit, and black folks we want our own shit. So we got to go back to segregation. That's what it seemed like they want. I don't get it. Because the Democrats have no reason to complain. They're with the people that are not racist. Remember? They said the Republican whites are racist. But it seemed like the Republicans elect more black people. It seems like they're not the one that complaining. The Republican blacks don't give a damn. They ready for it. And when the white folks lost their seats in a bunch of different places when they did this before, I didn't see a bunch of complaining. I don't understand this shit. They keep asking for a diverse America, right? But then they only want black people to vote in certain districts. How can you have it both ways? If you're going to keep letting all these illegals in, these Mexicans in and shit, and you're going to keep saying this is a country for everybody, then how is it that you only want black folks to vote for black folks? We're not the only ones in the district. That's kind of weird. So it sounds to me that these Democrats just want to stay in power. This ain't got nothing to do with no black rights. We still got our rights. You can go down there and vote whenever you want to. You ain't got no issues with you voting. Trust me. They're gonna be smiling at you and shit. They're gonna tell you where to go. You can walk in and vote right now. Y'all go try it. Ain't nobody gonna stop you from voting. Your vote still count the same. So that's why you got to be looking at this shit different. Like, damn. These motherfuckers really don't care about y'all. The only reason why they talking right now is because it's election time. When they get elected, they go to the beach, they go to the golf course, they go underground. Joe Biden ain't say shit for 4 years. Kamala Harris, we didn't even know she couldn't talk until she had to. And she was the whole damn vice president. And then we heard Charlamagne the God say, vice president don't got no power. And then you find out that the vice president is the deciding vote. And turns out Kamala Harris was the deciding vote many a mother trucking time. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? This is crazy, man. This is crazy, B. And people still taking a word from Charlamagne. This is crazy, B. But let's keep it going.
Constituency, but all American interest. To me, that's how the November election should be run.
Please.
Go ahead, Ashley.
I might agree with you if they hadn't said something different 3 years ago. We aren't talking about in Alabama, a district that existed when my grandmother was alive. We're talking about a district that was drawn in 2023 because there are injustices that are still being placed. We're talking about Memphis, where we're not like, it's not just.
With all due respect, this is not the same America as when certain people's grandmother was alive. It's not the same America when my grandmother was alive. Like, come on, if you in your 40s, it's not the same as your grandparents. It's not the same America as your grandparents. So many other races and so many other groups have gotten rights as of today in America that you would have thought that in the 80s and the 90s that they would have. The LGBT community is one of the communities that can lift their head up proudly and say, in the 80s and the 90s, it wasn't safe for them to say that they were gay. That's why they went and fought so hard for their rights. They have rights. So back in the day, our grandmother's day, hell no, that wasn't appropriate. They were shunning that. So yeah, there's many things that are different now than it was back in the day. And to act like that's not true is weird. And then they always got to go straight to the, oh, so you saying there ain't no more racists? Listen here, asshole. Did I say that? Or did I say things are a lot different than they were back in the day? It doesn't mean that it's fully eradicated, but it doesn't mean that it's still the fucking Jim Crow South. We got to act like certain things have happened in a positive direction. Stop talking like you still getting slashed across your goddamn back. That's all I'm saying.
One person across the street. They split a whole city into three to make Black voters have less power in House maps. The Voting Rights Act, which actually was the last time it actually was reauthorized, was under your boss, George W. Bush. It used to be a bipartisan thing. It used to be clear that the backdrop of this country, there is discrimination now. There was pervasive discrimination when the law was signed into law during the Civil Rights Movement. We can all go into our partisan corners, but to act like what is happening right now is not a direct attack on Black voters' power, Black voters' ability to represent themselves. Now, we had this conversation yesterday, Scott. Black voters are allowed to elect whoever they want. And in 2024, they did. They elected a Black Democrat in that new district in Alabama. That Black Democrat went through a primary of 13 people, and Black voters found the agency to come and decide how that primary now will be erased. And put a Black Republican up in that district if you want Black voters to have a choice. But they're not. That's not what's happening. It is a dissemination of distribution of Black power. And to call it anything other than that, I just think is being historically ignoring the past of our country and pretending like we're not trying to drive our country to a different type
Ellie,
of
one of the interesting things about Tennessee that we should also keep in mind is that Tennessee district that they did away with existed prior to the Voting Rights Act. So Memphis as a city has been a district even before they were trying to rectify racial discrimination with the Voting Rights Act. So, you know, we're going to start to see maybe Virginia might try again and create that. Maybe they might try to create an 11-0 map, because now, according to the Supreme Court, you can. We might live in a country where all around the country, we have states where the minority political party has effectively zero representation in Congress.
I think everybody should take confidence in the fact Supreme Court basically supported one vote, one person, guaranteed in perpetuity. And the rest is just map wars. And I think we should get used to it. And I think it's, as you said, a state-based situation. Add this to the mix. At the end of the day, the state decides at the state level. It's in the Constitution. Get over it.
Right. Get over it. It's on the state level. And that's what they've been wanting. They've been wanting the states to decide. Now they don't want the states to decide. And that's what's confusing. It's like, damn, every time something don't go, this like the sore loser. This like the kid that take their ball and go home after they don't get a dime. They ready to run. Oh, how long you gonna be at the park? Shit, I'm gonna be here at about 5 o'clock, dog. Soon as somebody don't pick their bum ass up, oh shit, give me my ball, yo. I gotta go. They always have the best ball at the park, too. Punk ass. But that's how this is right here. Why is it always got to move the goalpost when it ain't in your favor? But when it's in your favor, you sing and dance and jump up and down like it's all good. Hakeem Jeffries. I just don't understand. We gotta be Democrats, y'all. We Black. We fucking have to be Democrat. I just come to terms with why a lot of people don't like me. They feel I'm a coon. They feel I'm not Black. I'm not pro-Black, because our pro-Blackness is tied to being a fucking unfiltered, no questions asked Democrat. I've got to turn my I for independence into a D. I got to get my Black card back, y'all. We got to all be Democrats, bro. One band, one sound. This is our duty. This is our rite of passage. That's the only way we can goddamn talk to our aunties and grandmamas and shit. This shit done got so embedded to fighting for the white man we like. They done took over our aunties. They don't even want to make us Kool-Aid and shit no more. The girls don't even want to no vote in, no clock in. The girls ain't gonna give us none and we ain't Democrat. Damn. This crazy, B. Tell a girl, look at me, cover up that ass. That's mine. I like you, girl. Oh, shit, you lame. You want me to respect myself? Oh, bitch ass nigga. But I just found out. Yeah, correct. Where that Kwame from the cheese line? Oh, I'm still right here. Because I was taught, and I believe that shit. See, when you pour, they tell you a bunch of shit that they tell you a bunch of inspirational stories, but they don't want you to actually do it. But they tell you could be anything they you want you to be already. They keeping tabs on your ass because the neighborhood you from thinking you're gonna go to prison. So they tell you a bunch of lies, beautiful lies, and then when you make it, they guilt you and make you feel like you're supposed to pay for every Black person in the town because they know they ain't gonna do nothing with the money that's coming in. They ain't gonna get none of you niggas. So they make the athletes pay for the towns. You go to any small town, boy, that's where they can embezzle a lot of the state federal money. and they make sure you athletes pay for everything else. But yeah, man, we gotta be Democrat, bro. We gotta go back. I'm a Democrat. I used to be a Democrat, and I'm a go bite. It'll sound like Plies. Because that way all the money at for Doge. Oh, shit. They done got all the money out of that shit. Now Minnesota still got the money. They just getting it to all the Somalis. Yeah, they just getting all the Somalis, all that money. Damn. They had congressmen looking the other way. Man, we got to come together and get our vote together, even if it's Democrat or Republican. But we got to get some of this bread and get it to the hood. How they getting all that bread like that in Minnesota and all them places, man? That's crazy. Yeah, Democrats are communists. I ain't voting for them fools. You ain't black if you don't vote. That's okay if you're not black. Good white people can vote and bad white people. But if you black, it's a must. You can't even argue. You know what I mean? We a monolith. We gotta be Democrat or you lame. You ain't with the black community. We're gonna call Uncle Luke on your ass. We're gonna call all the civil rights leaders. We're gonna call all the people on you now. Call the SPLC on your ass. You know they got the direct line to the KKK. They got the KKK bank account, allegedly. So you know they might got their phone number. So you just keep it up. They put one of these new KKK members on your ass, these YNs. The new KKK look just like you. KKK retired. The KKK taking notes of these YNs. They're like, God damn, they running the numbers up. Billie Jean is not my lover, Bob Thornton. Come on over here. Yeah, how you doing, sister? Go and get me some tea, but I want you to see. I'm gonna go call Jasper in here too. Because, God damn it, these boys can unalive, boy. I ain't never seen nothing like it. We ain't going to have to work for another 50 more years. Boy, the numbers they got in Memphis and Chicago, my golly, they are doing it way better than us, and they're doing it quicker. They got these things called switches, and the switches we had didn't work like these switches. God damn it, if we had these type of switches, we could have bust their ass too, but we going to stay retired and we own the private prisons now, so we still slaving they dumb asses. So shit, we'll just stay retired, keep our money coming through the private prisons, let them think they're real, and by the 13th Amendment, 14th Amendment, they're slaves any damn way. So shit, we find this is a win-win. Yeah, we take their name, give them a number, just like a rock, and yeah, keep these niggers dumb. And every time they think they're going to come out of it, we'll bring up a rapper or a podcaster or an influencer to keep telling these men they got to be a gangster. Tell them they're wanksters if they don't go to prison. Oh, shit. Man, this shit crazy, man. That's crazy. They gonna let all these rappers out of jail, I believe. They gonna let these niggas out. That one boy, he thought he would tell. He crying like a motherfucker. I don't have no sympathy for that boy that's down there crying down there in Florida. You wasn't crying when you were squeezing that goddamn trigger, was you? His ass wasn't crying when he was goddamn chasing Julio down. He damn sure wasn't crying after he unalived the boy. He was up there celebrating, throwing up gang signs and shit. This boy come from a good household too. I might have to show that story. That shit pissed me off. Yeah, hey, Kwame KK voice is crazy. Hey, Jasper, goddamn it, get in here. Boy, these new nigger boys, these new KKK boys we got here, oh boy, these are KKK on steroids. You sure they ain't white? You sure none of our ancestors got to their people and got to their people? Because these motherfuckers could kill way better than we could ever kill. I'm talking about, Jasper, you got to look at this. Just look at these numbers. I'm talking about, oh, man, they're taking this shit down to Alabama, We used to unalive them so good down there in Alabama. But boy, you can look at a neighborhood in Alabama. I'm talking about they kick our numbers. In 2 years, they did what we did in 50. Oh, man, you got to look. I'm talking about Skeeter. Jim Bob, come on over here, Jim Bob. You put that shotgun down, Jim Bob. We ain't going to need that ever again. It's time to put our money in these private prisons. These boys are good as cattle. They think they're giving us 20, 30 years easy. Just follow the rappers. They're going to spin out 6 or 7 guys. We get funeral homes and private prisons. We're going to always have money with these boys around. Funeral homes and private prisons coming up. Because some of them going to go in the ground. We'll get that money from burying them. And some of them, they're going to go in the can. And the price is right. That's all that's happening. That's all that's fucking happening. Let's get back to the story. Y'all stop laughing.
Right. So the problem with that sentiment is that you were born in 1954.
Yeah.
Okay. You're
Very popular.
You're 71.
Yeah.
Right. In 1954,
by the way, I'm a vampire.
During your lifetime, we've actually had Brown v. Board of Education.
I remember.
Yeah, Brown v. Board of Education. I don't know how you remember it. I think you were like 2 months old. But I'm not finished yet. Let me finish with that.
Drill back to 54.
Yeah, because you're still alive, right? And so there's an entire generation of people. Brown v. Board, it overturned Plessy v. Ferguson in 1896. My point is that my mother was born in 1951. She desegregated.
Oh, shit. They always got a race bait, man. They always got to bring up a black woman and shit. Oh, no, man. Always got a race bait. This shit stupid, man. That's all we got. Is race and Trump did it. Race and Trump did it. That's it. You sound like them hillbillies from Mississippi. You better watch your mouth. You talk an awful lot for a man that don't go hills.
Schools. My father was shot in the civil rights movement. Those people. I'm going to finish because you're being utterly disrespectful.
Not at all.
So I'm going to finish this comment. So what I'm telling you is that there are people in this country who fought, died, and bled for the right to vote. Don't be a dick. Just understand.
Okay. Bakari,
just
please.
I'm
understand.
I'm pointing something out. The Constitution is being upheld.
Hey,
Do you have a problem with that? Do you have a problem with the Constitution of the United States of America?
Bakari, I'm going to stop you because I just want everybody to reset with a modicum of respect at this table. Please stop.
I want you to understand that there's a price.
To you,
there's a price that was paid for this right. There's a price that we uphold, and whether or not you value that, whether or not you value that or not, there are people who bled, sweat, and died, and were in prison for access to the ballot box. And what we're seeing throughout the South is that their voice, their vote, their representation, and people who have lived experiences to represent them are not being sent to Congress or where they need to go.
This debate, by the way, is happening among the justices. If you look at the Louisiana decision, the conservatives are saying, we've made great progress. It's time to let go of using racial discrimination.
And that's why I utilize the description of.
And the liberal justices say exactly what you just said, which is there's a history here that we're overlooking.
Ellie, I mean, the 3 years have passed since 2020, 2026.
Exactly.
So it's not that long.
All of a sudden, the country has made that much progress in 3 years.
That's the criticism of the majority. Look, there's a famous quote by Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yes. Do you see it not making progress? Do you know how many illegals you let in here? That's progress. Do you know how much taxpayer money you spent on these sanctuary cities? That's progress. Yeah, a lot happened in 3 fucking years. Sure did.
Right, when the Voting Rights Act
who should have retired?
When the Voting Rights Act came up, when she was on the bench, she said, the conservatives said, well, we've made great progress, so we don't need this anymore. She said, I'm paraphrasing, but she said, that's like getting rid of your umbrella in a rainstorm because you're not getting wet. Yes. And the question is it still raining? Is it drizzling? Is it clear? People differ strongly on that.
And guess what? It can be clear one day and rain the next. And so that's the inconsistency. I just want to point out
all these fake ass clever way of saying we don't ever want it to end. That's all it is. You don't ever want it to end. You don't ever want to admit it got better. This is like a relationship where you done fucked around on your girl, or you may have got a number and you ain't called it, but you just got a number and now this motherfucker want to question you or check you every time you leave the house. That's what they're. Well, you know what? I'm just asking, but no, motherfucker, I thought you said you let it go. If it's over, it's over. Let it go. Have we gotten better or haven't we? Damn. Nothing wrong with that. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But I do want you to at least give me, because instead of disagreeing, anybody can disagree. I mean, that's the easiest thing in the world. I just want to hear 2 or 3 of the policies that you like of the Democrats, because I can learn, and I like to learn, and we can't learn if we start with the disagreement. Let me hear what it is that they have to offer, maybe 2 policies, and then maybe you can get me to, because I believe I got to be a Democrat anyway because I'm black. So just give me 2 policies, please.
So one person, one vote. I think, Bakari, us millennials will have to wrestle with how we're going to leave this earth, and I'm determined to leave it better than I found it. And I think that this decision is actually going to open a rush to reevaluate a lot of things that you say are in the Constitution, because right now you have a hat on that says Utah, and they have more representation in the Senate than the people actually in Alabama have.
I got a situation in Utah going on.
I know that's not why you have the hat on.
No, I have
but
it on.
You have it on, and so there are states right now that have
supporting
2
the people of
senators.
Utah.
When we're sitting in a state right now that has more population than Utah multiplied by 10, and so if we
You
really
don't like
want to
Utah?
talk
I
about,
love Utah.
I'm talking about all the states that have smaller populations. If we really want to talk about one person, one vote, and if we really want to go down a path to see what real franchise means, you might have just opened a discussion that this country should be. It's timely to actually have.
We have to recognize that this redistricting was done in response.
Now, that was crazy, all that whining. But I do like what this senator right here said, right? Because at least he kept it real. This redistricting is in response. Let's stop capping as if the Democrats wasn't just happy as a bird in the red sunshine about the same thing. That's why I know this don't got nothing to do with no black issue. This got something to do with them losing power. They started some shit they could not finish. And all is fair in love and war. You don't start no it won't be no And you're not going to use my blackness as a weapon. You're not going to use my blackness as a weapon.
We have to recognize that this redistricting was done in response to the Supreme Court decision to weaken the Civil Rights Law, the Voting Rights Act, which was put in place to protect African Americans' right to have representation. And right now,
Wrong guy. He said the opposite. But I still stand on what I said.
This is so awful what's happening in our country with all this gerrymandering on both sides. It's awful. It's terrible for our country because you create these safe Republican seats, these safe Democratic seats, and the general election doesn't matter because you're going to win anyway. You don't have to worry about the primary, and everybody just panders to their base to win the primary, and that's dividing our country further. And so it's very much race involved. I can't stand the fact that you're splitting up Memphis into 3 different congressional districts. That's awful that you're cutting up communities like that. And that's happening in places throughout our country right now, and it's bad for America.
Are you opposed to the gerrymandering efforts?
Well, the way it is in Memphis and a lot of these places, it's all effed up. So why not try something new? Why not let another person win the district and see if they can clean it up? Instead of having these same districts that are doing the same things, why not clean the place up? I don't understand this. Why do they want everything to stay the same when the same ain't working? Can anybody tell me that? Do they think this same is working? Do they like what they see? Are they not paying attention to what they should be seeing because it's all orange man bad? Because I'm confused. I done dropped the link and I done asked people, because I want to learn. I don't want to argue. I done asked people what policy do they like. I done asked people several times to come up. And nothing. And nothing. Because if you take away the argument, then they can't just talk about them. It always got to be a deflection to Trump. These people are like CNN shadows or CNN puppets. I told y'all, a lot of people are script readers. I used to say script reading bees, but I don't want to offend nobody. So I'm just going to say a lot of people are script readers. And once they get past the talking point that they've been told, they can't have a conversation. So a conversation goes like this. All right, let's not talk about Trump or who we like. All right, let's have a policy conversation. That's the only thing that's important anyway. What are the 2 or 3 policies that you got that's your star policies that they're running on? And then you go from there and see what it aligns with your moral compass. What's so hard about that? They can't wait to bring Trump into every conversation. Trump is the entire conversation, even when he wasn't in office. Oh, we got left this by Trump. Oh, this and that with Trump. Like all of them say Trump. Like it was crazy. Shit is crazy.
With a goal of reinstating.
This is a righteous perspective. He had another great panel. Y'all go sub up. And there's a sighting of our homegirl, Mika. Shout out to Mika. She changed her name to the Messy Conservative. Shout out to the Messy Conservative. Fine self. Anton, she back.
Their gerrymandered map drew mixed reactions on the call. Oh boy, that leaked? So they can't even all agree on this. The desperate move. 7 justices sit on Virginia Supreme Court with staggered terms stretching years into the future. Lowering the retirement age would force vacancies, opening the door to refill the bench. The headline for Fox News contributor Jonathan Turley's op-ed is this: angry left plots to purge Virginia's high court. He was on Fox last hour.
These radical ideas are nothing new, but I think that the public needs to understand that many of these same voices have been saying publicly that they will pack the Supreme Court as well as soon as
violated the state constitution. So it doesn't matter how the vote went. If you had lost or won this, doesn't matter. It was null and void from the very beginning. But of course, the reaction to it is going to be very heated. I think that's fair to say.
It's heated, but also we're seeing that there's a lot of concern, right? Look at these headlines or these reactions from different anonymous House Democrats. There's expletives, but this one's good. Democrats now have to pitch a perfect game. I mean, that's kind of true right now. They were really counting on this not falling into place like this for the Republicans, which really sets the Republicans up, Shannon, they thought they were going to have a lot of headwinds, especially because the war and the gas prices. But if President Trump wraps this war up, prices start to go in a downward direction. His other economic numbers are pretty darn strong, and now we might get these extra seats. I mean,
there's a better chance of me sprouting wings and flying out of that window over there than the United States Supreme Court dealing with this in any way, because this is a state Supreme Court ruling on a state constitution. The U.S. Supreme Court doesn't deal with these kinds of things, number one. Number two, the freak out in Virginia has been so extreme. You even have Democrats over there who are saying they want to effectively politically decapitate the entire Virginia Supreme Court by putting an age limit of 54 so they can get rid of every existing justice and install people who will promise to rule a certain way on a certain case. They went from, this is just a temporary map thing to let's burn down the entire Virginia Supreme Court in about 2 seconds over there in Virginia, which tells you all you need to know about just how power hungry and corrupt the Democrats are in Virginia. This is not going to work at the U.S. Supreme Court. And this whole project of maximum warfare by Hakeem Jeffries is completely blown up in their face.
But a blue state does it, and now it's being struck down as being unconstitutional. Now, this proposal was reported by the New York Times earlier today. So as of right now, there's no official plan to do this. But I have to say, if they don't do this, you have to ask the question, why would you not? Democrats are always really quick to talk about how powerless they are right now, how they just can't do anything. They don't have the ability to fight back against what's going on with MAGA right now. But here is a direct example of where they have power to do something, and yet they are debating it versus just doing it. I have to say, a real opposition party wouldn't be debating this. They would be enacting it, because it's very obvious what MAGA is doing to this country, what Republicans are doing to this country. And if you have the ability to fight back on some level and you're not doing it, you are complicit in what's happening. Something to remember when you're voting in your primary elections coming up in the next few months.
period of time, we do have these structural problems that need to be addressed. We've got to, for instance, make sure we pass the John Robert Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act so we can end the era of voter suppression in the United States of America once and for all. We have to end Citizens United, dramatically reform our campaign finance laws to stop the ability of these deep-pocketed special interests to intervene. And we are going to have to explore massive judicial reform, state by state, and at the federal level, and everything should be on the table as far as I'm concerned.
This was a utter complete humiliation for Hakeem Jeffries and Virginia Democrats. They just burned $70 million, $10 million of taxpayer money, $70 million in campaign funds. And listen, if they had just paid attention to the Attorney General's opinion I issued last fall saying this is completely unconstitutional under the Virginia Constitution, it's a no.
So they didn't take the advice when they started this. So again, nobody can say it's racism because they started this. That's like punching somebody in the face. And then when you got your ass kicked, you say, oh, well, he too big for me. No, you don't put your hands on nobody. You don't punch somebody in the face. You know, these guys want to play bully. And then when the bullies get bullied, they want to whine to the American people and now get black people to run out in the streets and fight police and get bust across top of the head until somebody get unalive, and then you can start suing the cities again. Because that's all that's going to happen. That's all they want it to be. Wake up these Negroes. They already telling you, Hakeem Jeffries telling people, you're going to have to go out and fight. You have to go out and have a just cause. All these stupid ass things he's saying. I'm like, why would a senator say shit like this? They want somebody to get unalive so that they can burn some more shit down because that's all they got. If they can't win straight up, ass kicking is going to commence. It happens every cycle. This shit is annoying.
The Supreme Court, this is nothing but window dressing for them to try to save face with their donors. This is going to get laughed out by the Supreme Court. This is a last desperate gasp. But now what they're trying to do, as you reported, you have this scheme where they essentially want to unconstitutionally remove justices in Virginia. The Constitution of Virginia says you can only remove justices by impeachment in Virginia. In this case, by arbitrarily lowering the retirement age. It is an unconscionable scheme. It shows how little on the rule of law that they've been paying attention to just to pursue power.
Democrats think that Democrats aren't doing enough. That's their thought. And for those of you guys that are not familiar with the John Lewis or the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, basically what the bill is supposed to do, or what it's aiming to do, is prevent racial discrimination in voting. I think that's already been solved. Increase federal oversight of states with histories of voter right violations, make it easier for the federal government to challenge voting laws viewed as discriminatory. So basically, they want more government and they want states to have less say in their own elections, essentially is what they want. And they want to be able to control each state's ability to run their own elections ultimately. But it doesn't say anything about making sure that the elections are free and fair by making sure that everybody has the ability that is voting can vote by showing an identification, which you would think that would be a part of this bill, right? You would think it would be, but it's not.
Hakeem Jeffries, does anyone ever notice he looks like he's got dead eyes? Like he just, there's no
demon eyes.
Yeah, there's no soul behind his eyes, but that's just my
demon eyes.
Yeah, and he demonizes everybody. But again, it's like I said before, if they don't get their way, they take their ball and they want to go home because they just don't like the rules anymore. This is something that was going to blow up in their face in the very beginning. It was unconstitutional. I don't know why they championed it like it was the next best thing that ever happened. But ironically, if you look at a map of the Northeast, how many Republicans are being disenfranchised up in that area because of the way the maps are drawn? That's considered fair. But Virginia is racism. The thing is, people are getting so, I don't use the word fatigue, but if you're so sick of the word, everything has to be racism, it's lost its meaning.
People are tired of the bullshit to the point where they're about to get racist. They're about to show you some racism. You already got a white boy running all in the street calling everybody the N-word. And some people are just tired of people belly aching, so they just gonna join in the fun. You're gonna turn people into racists acting like jackasses. That's what's gonna happen. This shit crazy, man. I don't understand how we can't see this. I just don't understand why people can't see this, man. You got to call out behavior. And this is, man, man. I know everybody programmed to talk about Trump, but I noticed they don't never talk about the Democrats. They don't never talk about the policy. They don't never talk about their living situation. They don't never talk about how they're just trying to take all your money from you. They don't talk about what's real. They just talk about feelings and color and who racist. And you can't talk like that to me because I don't give a damn who don't like me. I've learned a long time ago, go where you're celebrated and not where you're tolerated. So I don't give a damn who don't like me. I don't even notice people that don't like me because I'm not going to be around you. So if you racist, you're not going to be around me. You're not going to be around me. I don't give a damn about no racists. I try to stay away from racists. I don't just hang out with racists in my everyday life. And when I encounter a racist person, which has been so rare lately, because nobody don't tell me if they are. And if you racist and you treat me fair in public, then I'm cool. You bet not let me know your racism. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't give a fuck. Go take your hateful ass in the corner. You know. My life ain't going to stop because you don't like me. I don't even know why they teaching people this garbage. It ain't going to stop. It's going to keep going. Yeah, what's going to make it stop? Shit crazy. They can't stand a Negro that talk like me. He said, well, your KK voice is pretty good. He can't stand a Negro that talk like me. That I don't give a, why does that matter is what I want to know. If somebody like you.
It has no meaning anymore. To keep on calling everything that you don't like blatant racism, you know what? It's enough already.
Amen.
You know, if a salesperson wants to sell you their product, define why it's so much better than the other person's product. Give me a politician that's going to tell me all the things they're going to do as opposed to all the things the other guy's not doing. You know, all the horrible things that Republicans are doing. Well, what are you going to do? You've had all these years now. How much money did Kamala Harris blow through? $1 billion?
Over $1 billion.
Over $1 billion, and then left with $600,000 in debt. I mean, come on, people. It's not a question of messaging. It's a question of who's giving the message. And there's nothing coming out of these people's mouth except vile vitriol and venom. It's just horrible. I mean, give me something I can sink my teeth into besides racism every time. As the one, I mean, it looks like this panel looks like, you know, the Virginia district map right now. That's what she wanted. You know, well, guess what? This is not what people wanted. It's not going to work that way.
It's really unfortunate because you do have people out there that believe that the Democrat Party is right, you know, in this, in just destroying, you know, the infrastructure that has, you know, been there and implemented for quite some time. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the state Supreme Court justices in Virginia, I believe they're all liberal.
They're all Democrats.
You know, so it's like, oh, so those are the good Democrats. You want to throw them out and
Yes, they are liberal, but when you don't do what they want you to do, then you aren't trying to fight against Donald Trump. When you actually do what the Constitution actually says, then it's not democracy, which.
Man, that's so well articulated. I didn't even know this woman could talk because goddamn Pokemon jaw was talking too much. Doberman Picture Mouth was trying to flirt with her too much and doing googly eyes at her. But she's actually speaking pretty well. So good job. And she got her little bounce back game on. Good job.
It's not. So at the end of the day, Hakeem Jeffries wants to get in power. He thinks that when Democrats take back House, he's going to be the speaker. So he's only concerned with that. He's not actually concerned with the people's right to vote. And then when you look at it, every one of the places here on the East Coast that you can think about is gerrymandered to the max. I heard Cloudy Hostin the other day say, okay, well, let's go ahead and
Cloudy Hostin.
to Maryland, do to New York. Let's go ahead. I'm like, what else are you going to do in Maryland? Like the base, the military base? Because other than that, it's all Democratic. So I don't I don't understand where they're trying to go with this. But it seems to have everything to do with just power. There's nothing there that suggests that this would be for the people, because I don't understand how disenfranchisement only works for the Democrats. Nobody bats an eye here in Maryland. Nobody bats an eye in New York. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that I don't have representation. So when they go and talk these talking points, they never say that if somebody is liberal, they never say those people are the actual Democrats. They never say that. They just say that this court, and then they're liking it to Trump, and people don't go and research that.
Yeah, I like what she's saying. It says rational thinking versus feelings. Emotions have won on our Western world. KB is one of the millions needed urgency. Where'd it go? I'm reading from the side. Scroll back down. Save our communities, expand out to state, country, and world. Salute, brother. Salute to you. That's Set the Tone 100. Salute to you. While they have people arguing about politics, race, and gender wars, don't forget your rent, mortgage, food prices, and utility bills have tripled and even quadrupled. Pay attention. It shouldn't even be a fight about politics. Politics is the way we live. It's a way of life. So they shouldn't make you emotional around that time. And the reason why everything is like it is because they started fucking with the energy right when they got in the office the last time. They stopped the fracking, they shipped the jobs overseas, and we had to buy oil. Gas prices went up under the last administration as well, because the price of oil and energy, that's one of the most important things. Who control the resources? So I knew when they stopped that pipeline, they stopped fracking, they did everything to stop energy. And I'm like, how can we do the thing that they're talking about? This Green New Deal is humanitarian. It sounds good. You're getting all the children and the young people that don't understand business to get this. But motherfucker who done own the restaurant, we know that truck that's coming to bring them chicken wing go by diesel. You Green New Deal, fuck up oil price. Fuck up lot money. Big money. Chicken wing go from 60 cent wing, $1 wing, to $1.05 wing. When wing go up to $1, we gotta charge customer ass. No more 5 for 5. 5 for 5 out the door. I can make money selling you wings, 5 wings for $5, because I pay 60 cents. Can't make no money off selling 5 wings for $1 if you pay $1. That's what you don't understand. And the price of diesel, the price of oil changes what that chicken wing costs, because the cost to get it to the store goes up. So I'm just telling you, they got young people, they brainwashed them, they made it about the little guy against the big business and going green and environmental, and they fucked it up.
This is not a part of the Republican Party. It's not even, they're not even people who are independent. They're not conservatives. It's always the liberal ones. And when they talk about it, they make sure that they leave out those type of components, because they don't want you to understand that this came from liberals, because they want you to think that all liberals are on the same side, just like they want you to think that black people are all among.
No, you're absolutely right. In Maryland, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Maryland's 35% Republican, but out of the 9 seats, there's only 1 Republican seat. And if they could get their way, they wanted to, let me tell you how crazy they are. The Eastern Shore, if you guys know anything about Maryland, the Eastern Shore has a district, and it is a Republican district. It runs pretty much up towards like northern Maryland. They wanted to take that district and cross the bay and run it into Anne Arundel and PG County so they could just wipe out the 1 seat that was there. That's how crazy they are.
Yeah, but they did it. They did it before. They used the Voting Rights Act to do that in Maryland with the big black district that they have now.
A 2030 green agenda in full effect. No way. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The Green New Deal never went into effect. Y'all motherfuckers got all that money talking about y'all was going to build all these charging stations. Ain't nothing like 6 of them motherfuckers. So it's going to be some money being confiscated or picked up in the hopes of getting a Green New Deal, but it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to be no damn. Come on, dog. Tell the truth. How the hell you gonna have a Green New Deal? We still drive cars every day. We still got them fly planes. It's unconstitutional what they have to do to actually go green because you can't tell people that they can't drive their trucks. And I'm not trading in my truck, my beautiful diesel, for no goddamn electric truck. But no, sir.
That runs from Baltimore County all the way down through Anne Arundel. Like it's like a one big district, and it's just like what happens all the way up there doesn't even matter down here.
Yep.
So it's like, how did you get that? So when I saw Louisiana, I said, makes sense. That's what they do. 250 miles. How?
Yeah. Run a district from New Orleans to Shreveport, the entire length.
Yeah,
of the state.
it's just like a car ride. You just pick up black people along the way.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
I don't like the way this gerrymandering and the John Lewis Act and the redistricting is all being positioned. The narrative that is coming out about this. It's why is no one standing in front of the white liberal? White liberal, this is your moment. Apparently, no one cares that you're being disenfranchised. If in fact they are gerrymandering districts so that they are no longer getting Democrat representation, we know that the Democrat Party is majority white. It just is. Out of the 6 Democrats that there are, 5 of them are white. Why is no one going to the white liberal church and speaking to white liberals and demanding that it's time for them to protest and put their bodies on the line and do all of that? If this is actually true, the most affected.
No, because they got black folks that'll do that. And nobody tears shit up like us. Come on now.
Person would be the white liberal, yet no one is talking to them. They are not the face of anything. They're not getting the Holy Ghost inside of churches. They don't have afros. Nobody's got an afro. AOC.
Come on now, because if a white person get unalive, it ain't gonna fit the narrative. White people gonna look at it and say, well, he didn't have to go his ass out there. And they not gonna riot. They gonna sit back and say, well, shit. They might say in their churches that this was wrong. Goddamn, we're gonna say a prayer for Billy Bob. But they're not gonna riot and tear up the street. You know, they need a black person so that they can come out, they can say Black Lives Matter, we shall overcome. It gotta fit a certain narrative. All right. And if it don't fit that narrative, that one ain't gonna stick. Can't have that one. So they got to get the narrative down. So it gotta be black people outside so that they can tear up some shit or go crazy. One of these white cops are gonna bust their ass. It happens every other time they do this. So one of these cops gonna get them one. They're gonna catch them one. And then everybody gonna say, oh shit, they've been doing us like this in America this whole time. Oh damn, they've been doing us like this in America. Oh, and they gonna have that boy, they got them a Reverend Martin Luther Malcolm X Negro with a fro now. So they got them a Farrakhan, not a Farrakhan, but they got them a goddamn, what they call it, boy? Man, they got them one, boy. They say he looked like the right type to get people to vote. So they done got their civil rights leaders. They trying to bring back civil rights leaders. They gonna be mad at me, boy. I'm just saying, this shit is worrisome. Lord.
Isn't coming to fake an accent in front of them where she can't even describe not only the faith she has now, she couldn't really accurately describe the faith she came up with. She had no name for it. No, none of this is happening. Why are white liberals able to hide? and this has been my point for some time now, stop making Black people the face of your agenda. The fact of the matter is, if what you say is happening, and I dispute it, but if what you say is happening, if the Supreme Court ruling is going to disenfranchise voters, what voters are being disenfranchised? Democrat voters, not Black voters. And that is what they're doing. They keep telling you that this is a problem of Black voters. All voters need to care about this issue. Wait a second. Nobody ever thought it was about the Black vote. The Black people are a minority. I don't know if you all know this. Black people are a minority in this country. If there is some disenfranchisement going on, why are not white liberals concerned that their vote is not going to matter? It tells me that this thing is a lie and it is untrue, because the people who are most affected, according to them, somehow are most unconcerned. So if the people who are most affected are unconcerned, why should Black people get all exercised and excited and start jumping and bucking about? I say sit down and relax. Apparently.
Well, sis, you missing the bigger picture, sis. We gotta have one of you Black people to get dropped. We gotta have one of us get dropped. See, it ain't about who did it. It's about who fit the narrative after the body get dropped. Because if you go out here in the streets and acting the fool and doing the 1-2, these officers are gonna drop a body. Yeah, they're gonna drop them a body. And then that body has to be a Black body, not just anybody. It has to be a Black body. And once we get our Black body, then they can do the money dance. See, you don't understand. I think you understand, sister. You got to understand that it's about that money dance. And them white bodies don't get as much as them Black bodies. At least that's ain't what I've been seeing. For a Black body, oh shit. We talking about some millions. Them Black bodies, they say Black people ain't worth nothing. Shitting me. That ain't what I've been seeing when they've been suing these cities. Well, boy, when Ben Crump come outside, he don't be bullshit. Ben Crump is the new, he the new goddamn, what's that attorney that never lost, Johnny Cochran. Yeah, Ben Crump come outside to play, boy. That's your ass. That's your company gone. And the whole city budget out. Ben Crump knocking the budget out your city. Just one Black body drop, they don't come knock the budget out your goddamn city. So you can't get that. You can't get that with a white body. Sorry, white people. Your bodies ain't worth more than our bodies. All right? Just letting you know. I think it's the melanin.
Apparently it's not a problem. If it were a problem of Black liberals, if this were a problem for you, then you would know this by the fact that white liberals would be upset about it. And the fact that they're not suggests that this is all just a lie. So why we're getting all up in arms now about these gerrymandered districts, most of them mirror the same type of living conditions and quality of life as Memphis. So there is never a discussion about the quality of life or the standard of living for Black people. There is only a discussion about the vote that, or the power that Black people can give to others. Black people, wake up.
I would love to see somebody put together a YouTube channel that just specializes in featuring all of the comments that these leftist Democrats have made over the years. I mean, just a one-stop shop. We can go to find all the crazy stuff that they've said, because what we're dealing with is a conflict between decent people and twisted people. There are a lot of twisted people out there in the Democratic Party that's just destroying our nation with crazy thinking and crazy actions. The Democratic Party, as we have been pointing out here on A Righteous Perspective, have been they're distressed over the fact that they've lost their power. And that power that they have lost has prevented them from covering all of the corruption that they have been perpetrating. And that is devastating them, because that has exposed them as the demons that they are to the public. And their credibility is shot. And so now they're desperately trying to do anything they can to regain that power by any means necessary. And we've exposed their money laundering. We've exposed their voter fraud. We've exposed the way they took money and sent it over to other countries for some crazy projects like homosexuality and grasshopper studies and condoms. And I mean, the crazy stuff they've been doing is being brought to the public now. So that makes them unacceptable to many normal Americans. And so they're going to do anything they can to cause problems. I'm just praying that we don't let them push us into some kind of civil war. We've got to shut down their talking points. every time they open their mouth, including Jeffries, Deadeye, demonize Jeffries. We've got to shut them down when they make these comments. And I think that we need to have more of that going on so that the public will not only be aware of what the damage that they've done in the past, but continually expose their rhetoric. Their rhetoric is actually affecting people who believe them. So that's where our battle is right now. Every time they make a statement about something that is not true, we've got to respond to it with such tenacity that they are no longer effective, because when they are no longer effective, real people won't listen to them anymore. And that's what I'm looking for.
And all I want to know is, can anybody answer those questions? What are the districts that's all blackity black that you can be so proud of, that you can say we need more of this? Just show it to me. And don't beat me up or bully me because of it. I'm asking a question genuinely. I could learn. Why is it that when somebody asks a question, you a coon or you this or you that, instead of the question just being answered? If somebody can tell me the Democrat stronghold where it's all blackity black and everything is going smooth, the education system is good, just show it to me. Don't kick my ass. I'm old. I'm too old.
Oh, yeah. Well, when you look at Democrats that are currently running for office, there's no conversation around their policy. There's no conversation around their agenda. The only thing that you're going to get out of these people is, I'm running to stop Trump. Yep. Orange man bad. Trump's got to go. That's it. That's all they're running on.
I really want Black people, because when you see the decisions that you have made over and over and over again, keep getting the same results, if not worse, when you put these people in power and they gentrify you out your own community, or you put them in power and your children can't read, or you put them in power and now you are homeless, because Wesley Hunt said something, and I 100% agree with him. The soft bigotry of low expectations. That is why they keep doing what they do. That is what they keep. That is why they keep doing what they're doing. That's why they keep saying we need the John R. Lewis Advanced Voters Right Act. They keep playing these things because they're like, listen, if we don't help y'all, then y'all will never be able to succeed. But I want y'all to understand, when they help you, they're helping you right off a cliff every single time. They're helping you right off of a cliff. So I want y'all to stop listening to these traits. The reason why I call him Spirit Airlines Obama is because he wants to be like Obama. And you see, Obama was the definition of the snake in the garden. Exposed. And we all chose that because it sounded real good. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. It sounded real good. Black people like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have somebody that looks like us in the office. Everybody was excited. And just like the Adam and Eve,
that's right.
Just like the children of Israel, they didn't need a king, but everybody else had it, so they wanted it. God gave them what they wanted. God gave us what we wanted. And we got Obama. And once we got Obama, everything went downhill. I don't care what anybody says. I am 45, turning 46 this year. Prior to Obama, we weren't living like this.
Oh, sister, you just made a cardinal sin. You talking about Barack Hussein Obama? Oh man, you talking about the black liberal? You talking about the one that can play basketball? Oh man, you talking about the one that got the black wife? Oh man, you just talked about black excellence. Oh, hey, you ain't. She about to lose her black card. She literally is talking about black excellence. That's damn near the equivalent to the Pope. Come on, man. I don't know, B. I don't know, B. She done it, y'all. And smoke Newport. Yeah, and he smoked cigarette. And he help out groups. Man, she done fucked up. She done messed up.
We were not living like this. The strained race relations, absolutely not. My goodness.
Nope.
Obama brought all of this in.
Right.
And
Oh, I already know what they're gonna say to that, ma'am. They're gonna say that's because the white folks didn't like that he won the election. That's why all the racist stuff, they empowered the racism to be racist. Yeah. What you say to that, ma'am? It empowered the racist people to be wait a minute. They said that when Trump got it off. Oh, well, when Obama got in office, that's the same thing. They couldn't hide their racism no more. Mm-hmm.
Hakeem, who's just like that Spirit Airlines Obama. The thing is, Hakeem is not as smooth as how Obama was. Hakeem, he tries, but he's not there. So what it looks like is, if y'all ever read the book Rumpelstiltskin, he's like Rumpelstiltskin. He's like getting mad, jumping up and down, angry every time.
No, Hakeem, he got one of them beige rage identity crisis. See, Obama never tried to get tough. He never tried to get gangster. He tried to smooth his way and guilt us into doing what he said. You black men got to step up. He'll guilt us through our women and stuff, but he never got tough. See, Hakeem Jeffrey be talking tough, like he ready to punch on something. And we know this dude. It's just like, man, if I was a politician, I'd be an asshole too, because I got more power than the police. I'd be an asshole. I ain't gonna lie. I get if them motherfuckers don't go to jail like that, if they gotta royally fuck up. Man.
I'm having a hissy fit because no one is taking him the way they took Obama. This is why they keep leaning on Obama to come in and do all the talking, because they assume Obama still has that demonic spell over people. And for some, he does, because there's some people who look at him like he's the Messiah.
He's being exposed
right now. God is exposing all of these people.
That's right.
And that is why they're spazzing out.
I think it was an old busted bus that said, it's some people walking on this earth like gods on earth. They get worshiped by people. You can't say one bad thing about them, even if it's true. They idolize them so much they want to fight you. Most people are not black first. They're whoever they like first. They're Democrat first. And they build their relationships around that instead of what's real and what's solid. That's crazy to me.
They're crashing out, they're spinning out of control, because God is exposing every last one of them, because the church woke up and realized we didn't choose God. We chose what the world wanted. We went along with the world, and that is why we're dealing with what we're dealing with. But because now we woke up and we're praying and we are seeking him and not the government, not these people, not any of these things. He is coming in and he is exposing, and not just exposing and destroying them. God is removing people. I want y'all to be aware of that. So I appreciate what is happening. But again, I just want to point out, this started because we decided, especially Black people, that we wanted to accept soft bigotry in the form of low expectations. That's what we decided to accept.
Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss it.
Y'all hit that notification button. Let me go right here. Let me go right here. Oops, I did it again. This brother got a video that said redistricting free blacks from Democrats again. God, dog, he said redistricting save Black Americans again. This is Vincent Everett Ellison. Y'all go sub up.
These black Marxists have done to the United States of America, what they've done to the Black community, how they call racial strife and poverty and death and mayhem to the people of this nation. And this year, we finally put them back on their heels. Let me tell you what has happened. Two great things have happened this week. First, the Supreme Court ruled that these gerrymandered majority Black districts that have become socialist enclaves in the United States of America have to be cut up because they were drawn on account of race. And of course, our Constitution says that you can draw up a district on any situation you want, but race cannot be one of them.
Breaking news, a major Supreme Court ruling out today that could change state congressional maps and may impact the future of the Voting Rights Act. The Supreme Court ruled 6-3 in Calais v. Louisiana that the state's 2024 congressional map, which created a second majority black district, was an unconstitutional racial gerrymander. The case focused specifically on Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which prevents election practices that weaken minority representation. The provision has long been used by organizations like the ACLU to file lawsuits requiring states to redraw maps to give minority voters more power. Justice Samuel Alito wrote that the lower court stretched the provision too far. The decision does not throw out Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, but does weaken it. Justice Elena Kagan wrote in her dissent, quote, "The consequences are likely to be far-reaching and grave. Today's decision renders Section 2 all but a dead letter in states where that law continues to matter." The states still marked by residential segregation and racially polarized voting, minority voters can now be cracked out of the electoral process. This decision adds a new snag in the nationwide redistricting fight ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. The court has paved the way for conservative states to throw out electoral districts favoring Black and Latino voters who are predominantly Democrats.
Can't do it. They've allowed this to slide for a lot of years. But one of the main reasons they've allowed it to slide is because of white guilt. And they had a lot of white liberals on the Supreme Court that allowed this to happen against the wishes of the Constitution. Donald Trump comes in. He puts these 3 strong conservative justices on the court.
So wait, if this is against the Constitution, then why are they saying that it's racist? If somebody can point it out that it's against the Constitution, and that's why this happened, is that it's against the Constitution. It went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and it was found that it was against the Constitution. Then is the whole Constitution racist? I don't get it.
And these justices, as soon as they got a chance to, they pushed that back. They said that you can draw these districts for any reason you like, but it can't be because of race. Why? Because the Constitution says we cannot use color or race or gender and all these types of things to make decisions about things in the United States of America when it comes to politics. Would it be proper to draw a district to help white people, Jewish people, Asian people? No. But black people say that it's proper to do it for them. You know why? Because most of these black people that are controlling these areas are Marxists, and they want to use race as a crutch to get power. They never try to uplift these people. They want to make sure they stay poor. They want to make sure they stay ignorant, and they want to make sure they stay under the heel of their master. Just like in South Carolina, Jim Clyburn's district, right? One of the reasons why Jim wants that district to stay safe, so poor is because that district is very rural, very poor, but over on the coast, there's a place called Myrtle Beach. If you know Myrtle Beach, it is just a resort, man. There are hotels. I mean, I don't know how, Myrtle Beach may have 100 high-rise hotels, really. It's really nothing but hotels. Very commercial. Well, these hotels need people to cook. They need people to landscape. They need people to clean rooms up. Well, you got a Republican governor there that South Carolina is not a sanctuary state. So you're not going to be bringing in a bunch of illegals. You understand?
Oh, so they want to get his ass up out of there then. If they got hotels and all that and they can't use the illegals, they want to vote him out. I know they can't stand him. Yep, they cannot stand that joker.
To do this work. So who's going to do this work for a low wage? They send buses down to Jim Clyburn's district to pick up these people that live about 60 miles from the coast, and they put them on buses and bring them down to Myrtle Beach every day to work in those hotels. And they tell Jim Clyburn, you better not bring any.
Dang. God, dog. No comment.
To pick up these people that live about 60 miles from the coast, and they put them on buses and bring them down to Myrtle Beach every day to work in those hotels. And they tell Jim Clyburn, you better not bring any private business down in these areas for us to have to compete against, because then we have to raise our wages and pay these black folks some real money. So Jim makes sure that no industry comes down in that area, because he wants to make sure that the people that give him money that run Myrtle Beach, that keep him in Congress, keep giving him the money. And these people keep sending buses down there to Calhoun County and Williamsburg County. And they bring these poor black people up to work in these hotels and jump jobs.
This is why I like listening to this brother, because guess what? You can listen to the counties that he's saying, and you can ask some people that's from there, and they can tell you if this is really happening. He's not talking about places that people don't know about. He's talking about present day stuff that happens in the black community. He ain't talking about 1964. He ain't talking about some old shit. He talking about right now, the things that they're implementing and putting in place so keep you not working, keep you designated in certain areas, and keep you without money. He's talking about it right now. So let me let y'all hear the place again.
Giving them the money. And these people keep sending buses down there to Calhoun County and Williamsburg County. And they bring these poor black people up to work in these hotels and jump jobs to make sure that no industry comes in that area to give these people any competition whatsoever. And he also wants to make sure that these people do not get educated so they don't leave. Because if they ever get educated, they'll leave and they'll go working somewhere else. A few of them get out, but most of them don't. And that's Jim Clyburn's job, to keep them exactly where they are so that the rich white folk in South Carolina can take full advantage of these poor black people. And this is what they do all over the country. This is their job.
Dang, he said this is what they do all over the country. All over the country.
Supreme Court decided to cut these districts up so they don't have this much control over these people anymore. They can't keep them ignorant. They can't keep them poor. They can't keep them afraid. They can't keep going down there saying, stay right here, because if you leave, the white man gonna get you. So yeah, in a 6-3 decision, and boy, the Democrats are wilding out. Oh, Hakeem Jeffries, Dime Store Obama, he was measuring the drapes in the speaker's chamber because he knew he was gonna be Speaker of the House. The odds were, before this happened, that the Democrats had about an 80% chance of getting the House back in 2026. Now, it's dropped less than 50% now. And what happened next was even better. Virginia, when Donald Trump told Texas, hey, you guys need to do some redistricting because so many people have moved to Texas from like California and all these other states, and y'all need to redraw your districts to reflect that. So Texas said, heck, man, we might can get another 5 seats for the Republican Party out of this. Oh, everybody got mad. Gavin Newsom them did it inside of California. It worked in California. But then they said, instead of just balancing this thing out, let's try to get some more seats. Let's get greedy. So they came to Virginia. And they told us, hey, Virginia, redraw your districts. And Virginia said, yeah, we'll do it. And so Virginia had to hold a referendum to get it done. And the Republicans in Virginia are just ridiculously weak. The Republican Party is just weak, okay? And I knew they were going to get their clocks cleaned when it came down to messaging and getting people out to vote and all this kind of stuff. And they did. So they took it to the referendum. The state of Virginia passed it. They spent like $60 million in the state. I think the Republicans spent like 30, of course. And the Democrats spent over 60. And they got their clocks cleaned again. But the checks and balances of the courts, that's the genius of the United States of America, is still there. Took it to the Supreme Court. State Supreme Court said, look, man, our Constitution is clear. Before you have something like this, a referendum like this, you have to pass it in one session, have an election, and then pass it in the next section, the next session. If you don't do that, it's unconstitutional. Well, the believed, well, man, we don't have a choice here. Let's just do a shot in the dark. See if we can find 4 lawyers on the Supreme Court of 7. They'll see it our way. Partisan lawyers, of course. Well, even with that, y'all, they still got 3 of the judges to side with them. So in a 4-3 decision, Virginia sided with the Republicans against the Democrats. So you broke the Constitution, which they did. But this is what saved them in the state of Virginia. It wasn't the fact that the Republicans turned out to vote and raise a lot of money and beat them. No, it was the Supreme Court doing what the Supreme Court's supposed to do. And they checked the Democrats, who are a bunch of freaking crooks like they've always have been.
Breaking news in the nationwide redistricting battle. The Virginia Supreme Court found a voter-approved Democratic congressional redistricting plan in that state. A lot of people say it's a setback to the party looking for an edge in this year's midterm election. So let's talk about it. Live to CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman. So the court has some explaining to do. How do they justify that decision to a lot of people who are unhappy about it, Katrina?
Reed, this is a significant decision because the Democrats will lose 4 seats in districts in Virginia as a result. The reason that the Virginia Supreme Court says they did this is procedural. So it's a little bit in the weeds, but they say because of when this was voted on, there were actually some early voters that didn't know how these maps would pan out at the time. So these are real procedural reasons why they're knocking it down. But they say that essentially the way that this was pushed through violated the state's constitution. So that is why we are now seeing this map overturned, or these maps overturned. But it is a significant win for Republicans here, Reed, and a real blow for Democrats as we get closer and closer to the midterms.
What kind of reaction? You're also tracking reaction from both sides of the aisle. What are you seeing?
That's right. Well, President Donald Trump has said that this is a huge win for Republicans. On the other side, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries has said that this is unprecedented and an undemocratic action that cannot stand. He said that they are exploring all options to overturn this, although there is still a question of what the next step could be here. Because this is all about state law, it's unclear if there's actually a federal question that could be brought up to the U.S. Supreme Court. So Democrats are certainly going to be scrutinizing this and seeing if there are any other options to try to overturn this decision or push these maps through in any way, Reed.
All right, Katrina Kaufman tracking it all. You have a good Friday, friend. Good to see you.
So they were going to take state Virginia that has 11 congressional districts, and they were going to get 10 and leave 1 for the Republican Party. So they were going to make this a 10-1 state. Right now it's a 6-5 state. So they were going to get another like 4 seats inside the state of Virginia, maybe 5 more. Yeah, they were they were spilling themselves. Supreme Court killed it. So take those 5 seats off the table that they were going to gain. Take those off. But because of what the U.S. Supreme Court did, when it came down to this gerrymandering thing and the black districts, Trump might get another 14 seats out of that. Yeah. They start cutting up these districts. Yeah, they might get between another like 7 and 14 seats out of that. So take the 5 off, put another 10 to 14 on, that's like 15 to 19 seats. So it's looking pretty good. And this is the thing that makes it so interesting. The last time a sitting president gained seats in the midterm and kept the House was in 2022 when we were going to war with Afghanistan for what happened with 9/11, and the American people got behind George W. Bush and the Republican Party. That's the last time a U.S. president won the midterms with his party. That was 24 years ago. So if Trump pulls this off, it's going to be monumental, and it might just be the death knell for the Democratic Party for a very, very long.
He must have said the wrong date then. If he said 24 years ago, that couldn't have been in 2022. He must have meant 2002. Oh, 2000. Oh. What? Shaking my head at this nonsense. I'll drop the link.
Time. And that's the good news. The chronic victim can never be trusted, says Carl Young.
Because I want you to know that I am more offended as an African-American woman than you will ever be.
The chronic victim can never be trusted.
The reason we could never be who we wanted and dreamed to be in is you kept your knee on our neck. We could run corporations and not hustle in the street, but you had your knee on our neck. We had creative skills. We could do whatever anybody else could do, but we couldn't get your knee off our neck.
The chronic victim can never be trusted.
Oh, shit. We can't get your knee off our neck. Holy shit. Wow.
It's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps.
Stay on your knees. Stay on the plantation, boy. I decided to be a free man. Slave's a choice. My friends, we worked on this for a long time. In the 1960s, the Marxists who used class over in Europe, used race in America to tear this country apart. They convinced the poor whites over in Europe that they needed government to take care of them because the wealthy would always try to beat them down and take their property and keep them under their heel. They came to America and told black people the same exact thing, that you need government to protect you because the white man's going to always try to beat you down and have you on his heel. Now, see, if you believe in God, you don't believe that, because if you believe in God, you believe in Jesus Christ, you believe that no weapon formed against you will prosper. You believe that you cannot be inferior to anyone because you're an heir of Jesus Christ, you're a child of God. You believe that no, I don't need government to take care of me because I don't trust man to do it. Man is flawed. But we had our black preachers like Martin Luther King Jr. and Andrew Young and Jesse Jackson and all of them go out there and tell them, yeah, this is the proper thing to do because, Jesus ain't took care of y'all yet, has he? Yeah, they basically told us to turn to trade Jesus Christ in for the federal government. And the black community did it. And before 1960, between 1940 and 1960, the black community had the greatest reduction in poverty in the history of the world. We had built HBCUs. We were teaching children in our black educational system. We had an economic system that sustained our community. We had mores and values that matched our community. Who are the beautiful people? We called ourselves Americans. And then all of a sudden, they came and they started dividing us from our country and they made us hate the country of our birth. And now, 4 generations later, you still got children 17, 18, 19, 20 years old complaining about being black, thinking that they don't have a shot in America. Never been hungry. Walk around fat. In college complaining. Graduate college complaining. Riding around with iPhones and tablets. Never missed a meal in their life. Complaining. Because these people in these Marxist districts, they go back to these children and they tell them lies. Now you got Jim Clyburn in South Carolina. He's scared now. I was thinking that Jim, because they did it, Operation Rat F blank back in 1992. Jim has been in that district since then. And he's been untouchable because the Republican Party wouldn't run anybody. Well, they would run people, but they never give the people any money, never give them any help. That was the deal. If you vote for our redistricting plan and give us what we want, we'll make sure you stay safe in that district. And Jim has done that most of his adult life. I mean, they put him over the Human Affairs Commission when he was in his early 20s, back in like 1972. He stayed there for 20 years and retired. Then he ran for Congress, been there 33 years. So he's been under the control of the state of South Carolina his whole career. And he's been there because he's been making certain people happy. Well, now his reign might be coming to an end, because I was thinking Jim just might be safe. But no, Donald Trump wasn't part of that deal. And Donald Trump said, I need that district.
And then people are mad. Now, I want them to ask themselves, is that district the way he says it is? Is it as bad as he says it is? He's telling me and anybody who will listen that the district is trash. That the district is a place where nobody want to be or need to be. That there's no opportunity, that he's basically a puppet to keep Negroes dumb and stuck. Now, if it's like that, those of you in South Carolina would know. Y'all don't know if he's lying. Y'all don't know if it got anything to do with Donald Trump. So instead of being tricked by them playing the old 42 fake out by pointing the finger at Donald Trump, maybe, just maybe, you can take a look at the people you should be looking at.
And now I'm hearing that the state of South Carolina just might be calling a new session in to cut that 6th congressional district up and put Jim Clyburn out of a job. Man, if that happens, that is a political explosion for America. That's a thunderclap. That means 50 years of fried chicken, begging, civil rights Negroes is over. They're gone.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Somebody gonna flag you for hate speech. $5 years of, what do you say, 50 years of fried chicken eating, begging niggas, go. Oh, man, golly.
That means 50 years of fried chicken begging civil rights Negroes is over. They're gone.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Tessa Spencer. First at 11 this week, the State House Judiciary Committee will hear public testimony.
If he was white, I'd flag that shit. I ain't gonna lie. If he was white, I'd flag it. I'd be offended.
On a bill that would redraw South Carolina's 6th congressional district. It's a story that we've been following now for several months. Our Jesse Klinger spoke with one of the bill's sponsors and shares more about the impact it could have on Low Country voters. Jesse?
Tessa, under normal circumstances, state district lines are redrawn every 10 years after the U.S. Census to keep populations equal, and they cannot be based on race or ethnicity. The current map was approved in 2020, but now state Republicans want a new map drawn 4 years early in time for the 2026 primaries. House Bill 4717, designed by State Representative Jordan Pace, focuses on the 6th district. It's currently held by South Carolina's only Democrat, James Clyburn, who has represented the seat since 1992.
We've beaten them. And it's a happy day. So the governor of South Carolina is Henry McMaster. I'm sure Donald Trump called him and said, Henry, I need that district. And Henry probably said, well, hold on, Mr. President. And then said, I need that district. It's going to be close. And sure enough, if these Democrats get power, they're going to impeach me. That's all they know how to do. And then they're going to try to stop everything I'm trying to do and stop our conservative resurgence, and I'm not going to allow it. I need that district. And Henry has to call that session. So Henry, make it work now. I've known you almost 30 years. You're a good man. We got some stories we can tell. I've known you for years. Do it right. Take Jim Clyburn, take his old bones and put them in the ash heap of history. That's where they belong. He's never been nothing but a menace. And the state of South Carolina will be all the better to be shed of it. This is a happy time, people. I remember on the night that Trump was elected, I was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with Patrick Bet-David. It was a grand affair. I mean, Patrick had a super VIP area where you had to pay $25,000 a ticket to get up in there. And that's where I was. But that night, he called me down on the stage, and I was there, and I was on that stage with Candace Owens, for Candace lost her mind, and Dave Smith. Dave's a great guy. He's a comedian. He's smart. He's a libertarian. And after Trump won that night, and everybody was cheering. Everybody was just so happy.
I ain't gonna make y'all suffer through the Trump talk, because I know y'all can't stand Trump ass. But I'm just saying, man, you gotta learn to listen to both sides and get both perspectives, man. And stop arguing over the white man you like. Like, stop doing it. What is this one? Is this new? Well, I'll play that tomorrow. Yeah, man, I done gave y'all 2 hours already. It's time to go to bed. Listen, y'all, I got to be up in the AM, so I'm going to take it to bed. Salute to y'all. I'm about to get up out of this thing. Y'all have a good night's rest. And I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone.